Hello everybody. So today I will be solving the first two questions of LEETCODE bi-weekly contest that happened today at 8 a.m. So the first two questions that came today were easy and a medium type. So first we will be jumping on to the easiest question. The question name was count pairs of similar strings. Now in this particular question we have been given a zero indexed string that's called words. We've been given zero indexed string array that called words. Now, two strings are similar if they consist of the same characters. So that means if first string has ABCA and other string has CBA, then we know that both strings have three different characters A, B and C. So these both strings are similar. However, if the strings are A, B, A, C, B, A, so here the three characters that we have are A, B and C. And in B, C, F, D we have four characters B, C, F and D. Now as the number of characters and the characters are not same, then these two strings are not similar. Now let's return the number of pairs. Now the question has asked return the number of pairs I comma j such that 0 less than equal to I less than j less than equal to word dot length dot minus 1, and the two strings words I and words j are similar if two strings are similar. Okay, so let's see the examples first. Example 1, ABA. Here we can see that there are two different characters A and B. Then AABB. Here two different characters are A and B. Now you can see that these two strings are similar. Now let's see the third example. Third word ABCD. Here you can clearly see that it has four different characters A, B and C, D. So that means ABCD is not similar to these first two strings. Now let's jump to fourth word, that is BAC. Clearly it is not similar to any of the previous strings. It's similar to previous strings. Now we will see the last word, that is AABC. Now this one has a letter A, a letter B and a letter C. Now if you go back a little, you'll see that BAC has also three letters, which is A, B and C, and this one also has A, B and C. Hence we can conclude that both of these strings are similar. That's what is given in this question. First two strings are similar and these two strings are similar. Hence we found two different pairs who are similar. So the answer for this question, for this particular example, is 2. Now let's jump on to this example. Here we can see A, B, B, A, B, B, A. Now it is clearly visible that all the three words have only two characters, that are A and B. So these three are similar. Now one thing that we have to keep in mind, that we don't have to give the number of words that are similar. We have to give the number of pairs that are similar. Here it's by coincidence that the number of words are also 3 and the pairs is also 3, but this will not happen otherwise. See, we will see that these two numbers are similar, that these two words are similar, then these two words are similar. Now this and this are similar. So we can see that there are three pairs, word 0, word 1, word 0, word 2 and word 1, 2. That's why the answer came 3. Now if it were 4 words that are similar, the answer would not be 4. It would be the pairs of those 4 words. That's 4C2. Why I told you 4C2? Because like you can say there is, let's say the 4 words are A, B, just an example. It's not the correct answer, just I am making the pairings. So let's say A, B, C, D are the 4 words that are similar. So the pairs would be AB, AC, AD, 3, then BC, BD, that's plus 2, 5, and CD, that's 6. Now you have to find, now how do we calculate how many number of pairs are there? So that's actually pretty simple. You can see that this is just a basic mathematical permutation combination question, which is find number of ways to select two objects out of the given n objects. So that would be like NC2. Okay, so here it was 3C2. 3C2 is Why coincidence 3 only? That's why the answer came 3 here. In the example that I took 4, then the where word is equal to 4, then the answer would be 4C2, that's 6. Now let's take this example. NBA has 3 characters A, B and N. Okay, then CBA has 3 characters CBA, but previous this one, the first word and the second word does not have all letters same. This one has an N, this one has an C. Similarly, this one has a D. So we can clearly see that none of the 3 words are similar. Hence, there is no such pair that exists that satisfies the condition. Hence, we will return a 0. Now let's jump on to the code. So the code that I have made is pretty basic. I haven't used any hi-fi data structures. I have just used simple unordered map and vectors. So initially I have defined an unordered map which will be taking string and int, and have named it as mpp2. Then I have taken this vector string unique. Then I have made this vector string unique. Now I'll be traversing the entire array. Now, to tell you the truth, this might not very well be the best code, but why I'm saying, because I have first of all, let me explain you the code, then I'll tell you what's the problem here. uh, okay, first we'll be traversing the words array. That means this will traverse each and every word and further check. First of all, we'll define a string x, then we'll define an unordered word, but this time we'll be defining it as a char command mpp1. Now we'll be traversing each and every word. For the word, we'll be traversing the entire word, and we'll be calculating uh, on the contrary, I should say, we'll be finding the number of unique characters in that. So for this, I have defined this unordered map. So whenever a new character comes, the mapping of that particular character would be 0. Hence, we'll be first of all taking the mapping of that particular character to 1, and then we'll be pushing that word to our particular string. We'll be doing this for entire word, and then we'll be sorting we'll be sorting all the characters that came in that particular word. Now why are we doing this? This is because why are we doing this sorting? Like, we could have just not sorted, right? But what is the need to sort here? This is done because why have I done this? Because for example, let's say, mm, yeah, you can choose this example. This particular value, this particular word would give us unique character x, string x as ab, right? But this one would give us as ba. So if we do not sort this particular sort x, then ab would never be equal to ba, right? Hence we sort it. That's why AB would be equal to AB, hence we'll be finding it similar. Now next is mpp2 axis. So here I am in mapping each and every string that I get as unique character, string of unique characters. Now if mpp x equals to 2 unique dot pushback x. Now what have I done here? See, first of all, why have I taken here as 2? This is because we have to, in the answer, we need to tell the strings that are like repeating, right? What have we have to do? We have to tell similar. Okay, so for string to be similar, there should be a string that is already been before, that has already been in the array before that, right? Like, in this particular example, uh, if a comma b, this would be our particular string x for this case, but there hasn't been any particular ab before that, right? So we can't just push back this one, because this is till now this is not our answer, okay? But when a comma b comes, then string a x equals to ab would have mapping of 2. Now we can say that these two are similar strings because we have AB twice. That's why we'll be pushing back that particular x when mpp x equals to 2. Now we don't care if that particular string comes back again, like for in the second example only this AB would come again, but we don't have to push it back again, we have to push it only once. So excuse me. So unique dot pushback x. Okay, now int answer equals to 0. You've seen it, now you got till here. Okay, now we'll be saying for int I equals to 0, I less than unique dot size I plus plus. What have I done here? Now this is just the way of calculating the final answer. I'll be traversing that unique array that I have made here, and first of all I will be doing int y equals to mpp2 unique I. What have I done here? Here I have initialized an integer which will store the value of that particular word. Now the word unique is the number of unique strings that we have. Okay, like AB, BC, ACB. Okay, so we mpp2 stores the frequency of those particular strings. So we have given the value of the frequencies of those strings as y. Now we have to calculate, like a particular string is coming 3 times, so we need to calculate the number of pairs of, as I told before, we have to do nc2. Now in C++ I don't think so there is a direct function for nc2, or there might be, but we don't need to use that. Let's try to not use library functions as much as possible. So in this one we can just write y into y minus 1 by 2, because this is basically nc2. Okay, yc2. So answer equals to answer plus y into y minus 2, return answer, and this code will run easily. Let me tell you how it runs. It gives 2, submit, accepted. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. The next question is smallest value after replacing with sum of prime factors. Okay, now as you can see this question is a medium level question, so there are some, you have to apply some of your mind here. Like in the previous question it was pretty silly, you just have to solve it, like everything is pretty much given in the question, you just have to follow the steps and the answer would come. In this one you have to think a little. Okay, so whenever prime factors question come, it's a pretty standard way to calculate the number of prime factors of a particular integer. This is a pretty easier way. There are other ways also, there are some algorithms that you can use, but for now we will be using this particular way. So how have I approached this question? The question has asked that, first of all let's read the question. We are given a positive integer n. Okay, continuously replace n with some of its prime factors. Okay, note that if a prime factor divides n multiple times, it should be included in the sum as many times as it divides n. Return the smallest value of n will take on. Okay, we've got this. Let's see some examples. Okay, n equals to 15. After seeing the example you might get the question very easily. Initially n is equals to 50. Okay, now what are the prime factors of 15? 3 and 5. There are no other prime factors. 1, 3, 5, 15. They are the factors. But we don't have to take 1 and 15 because we have to take only prime factors. So now we have got prime factors. Now we have to replace it with the sum of the prime factors. So 15 will be replaced by 3 plus 5, 8. Now 8. 8 has 3 prime factors. 2 into 2 into 2. Now some would say that they are same. There is only one prime factor 2. But in the question it is written that if the particular prime factor divides n multiple times, it should be included in the sum as many times as it divides n. Hence, as 2 is dividing it 3 times, we will be replacing n with 2 plus 2 plus 2, that is 6. So 6 is equals to, then prime factors of 6 is 2 and 3, so replace n with 2 and plus 3 equals 5. Now this will now when should we stop? We should stop when the particular number doesn't have a prime factor. Now which number doesn't have a prime factor? a prime number. Here see, if the 5 has only two factors, 1 and 5, it doesn't have any other prime factor. 5 is the smallest one, and will take on. Similarly here 3 is initially a prime number. So basically you have to re reduce n to a prime number, I should say that. Okay, now in this question, this was the given function that we need to make. So for this I have created a prime factors, and I've created this function prime factors. In this one I have initialized this with an integer sum equals to 0. Now while n percentage 2 is equals to 0, and this is the basic method. First of all, let me tell you, this is a very basic method to calculate the number of prime numbers. Like we actually I have modified this a little bit to calculate the sum, but this is basically the way to calculate the number of prime numbers in a particular for a number. So let's see, int sum is equals to 0 while n percentage 2 equals to 0. Now what we have done, now if our given number is a even number, let's when a particular number is an even number, there is a definite prime factor that is 2 for that. So let's remove number of 2's from that first. When will it get removed? When the particular number gets odd. When a number is odd, that particular number doesn't have a even prime factor, right? So that's what I have done in that first step. While n percentage 2 is equals to 0, sum plus equal to 2, n is equals to n by 2. This will reduce the particular number to a odd number. Okay. Then we have this particular loop. In this loop I have started this from I is equals to 3, I less than equals to square root of n, I is equals to I plus 2. Now what have I done here? Here I have done this because why have I started it with 3? Because we have already removed all even numbers, so there is no need to start it with 2. Now I have written it as square root of n. What is the reason behind that? The reason behind that is we have to calculate n square, right? Like for a particular number, wait a second, yeah. So what is a prime factor? Prime factor is like some number multiplied by some number. Okay, so why have we stopped this loop at square root of n? Because for square root of n is the greatest number, after which there is no number that you multiply to any number and get a particular number. I know you could not understand this. Let me tell you. So let's say square root of n is some particular number y. Okay. That means y into y is equals to our number n. Right. Now let's take this loop to y plus 1. If it is y plus 1, would there be any number? Would there be any number which you could multiply it to and get n? No, na? So that's why we are doing square root of n. Now they will be doing I equals to I plus 2. I equals to I plus 2. Why are we doing I equals to I plus 2? Because we have already eliminated all the even numbers, so we don't have to check it for even numbers. Now we'll just check, like we did for even number, we'll be just checking while n percentage I equals to 0 for every factor. This way we'll reduce n is n key value and equals to n by n, while n percent I 0 will be including all those factors to the sum. Now this step is pretty serious. If n is greater than 2, sum plus equals to n. What does this mean? This means that we have to also include the number itself as a prime factor. Are you getting that? Why am I saying this? Because here n bit, what would be the final n that comes out from here? It will be a prime number, right? So that particular prime number is also our answer, but it couldn't come here, right? Now n, if it is greater than 2, of course it will be greater than 2. We have already removed the previous number. Like if the particular number comes 1, then we don't have to add that to our solution. It won't come 2 because we have already removed all 2's. So if it is greater than 2, that means if it is not 1, then we have to add that number also and then return sum. Now what have I done in the main function? While perimeter factors n is less not equal to n. Now what have I done here? Now we have to see for a prime number, the you have to visualize it. For a prime number, the sum of its prime factors is the number itself. Are you getting my point? Let me take an example. Now let's take an example. A prime number is 17, right? The factors of prime number, the prime factors of 17 is 17. So 17 is only prime factor. So the sum of prime factors is equals to prime factor. Our particular prime factor function is calculating the sum of prime factors, right? So I am ending this loop when the prime factor function of n, that is the sum of prime factors of n, is equal to n. Why am I doing this? Because if we don't do this, this particular loop will run infinite times, right? Because n equals to prime factors of n, yes, n. So that's why the loop will run infinite time. That's why as soon as the number, the sum of prime factors is equals to the prime factor itself, we be stopping this for loop and returning that number n. Now let's run this. Yes, it's running nicely. This was the question 2 for this particular contest. I hope you were able to solve. I hope you were able to understand the solutions that I gave to you. Now, this was my first video, so my explanation must not be very uh, easy to understand, but I will uh, I assure you that I'll be uploading videos for like this for all contests. I give every contest. I give for LEETCODE, I give for Code Forces, I also give contest for Code Chef. Yesterday I gave Code Forces contest. I was able to solve the first question. So if time permits, I'll be uploading the solution for that also. But right now I have give the solution for this. I hope you like the solutions. Thank you. Please like and share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.